Game 1. Let me introduce the Korean Terran player. In the red, the top right of Alkione, it is GuMiho. And the only hometown hero to really have a good shot of making it any further. Will he continue his run? Will GuMiho set him back? It's Astrea, the #1 player in the Americas from the United States. All right, GuMiho, what do you got for us? I can't get over how he just broke out the mech. First build of the day. He followed it up with a bio build heavily supplemented by Mass Liberator Viking. Even when he plays bio, GuMiho's still very much a mech player. Astrea just played the most exhausting, brutal Terran versus Pro Tour. 140,000 resources, I think, was the end. There aren't many more than that. There's like 160, 70,000 on the map in total. So, an exhausting series, an exhausting game. That last game of Astrea versus Kalajor was longer than the entirety of the GuMiho versus Showtime series. So, a bit of a marathon instead of a sprint. Well, one gate expander, Reaper wall, and a Reaper is on the way. GuMiho, 2 gas, but not mining all the gas right now. Just wanted to get that factory out in a timely manner. Gonna try to maintain a level of aggression to keep Astrea at bay. If you don't have the factory early, you're vulnerable to things like depth shades. You've got, of course, those early stalkers poking and prodding, but usually it's adepts that are the most annoying early. Shield battery. Very interesting position. I think wants to wall off in some fashion. Sentry tickles the Reaper away. The Sentry existing is kind of a key point here. I don't think we're going to see a hallucinated Colossus scout again. Reaper, do the grenade thing! Hey, you did it! Yeah, even when you make a Reaper wall, well, I'm not even sure how you do it right. Like, I'm not sure if it has to be... It feels like RNG sometimes. There's like... But anyways, the Reaper gets in when it certainly wasn't supposed to. It gets a kill. No, it can't get out. There's no getting out. But now there's another Reaper. Oh, no. And the shield battery, well, we'll protect this is... Certainly not an ideal start. Like, at some point, we have to question why we build the Reaper wall in the first place. If it doesn't even wall the Reaper, it feels like more of a liability than anything else. But, well, GuMiho with quite an interesting start. Cyclone takes down the hallucinated Phoenix, but in and of itself, giving away plenty of intel. Marines making sure their guns work on these rocks. The rocks that are there. For those who just joined StarCraft 2 wondering why there are random rocks. Well, if those rocks weren't there, you could wall off the bottom of the ramp with 3 pylons or 2 bunkers. Ask me how I know. Ask anyone who played StarCraft 2 and Wings of Liberty how I know. Especially when cannons, like, you could build on the high ground with power. Before the power field went up to the high ground, and you could build cannons up there. This is more for Zerg players, but in general, it is to prevent those early cheeses. A lot of players will take them down just to make sure they don't get caught on it later. But now the Reaper wall is yet again going to be a liability, as GuMiho is basing his entire personality around destroying the Reaper wall. And maybe the Marines need to move back a little. Either way, though, at least Warp Gate is done. Guardian Shield. Bit of an awkward. He's gonna try to save it. Yanks the tank up to the high ground, unloads it. Recall. Gonna try his own hand at it. Siege tank does siege up. A lot of damage being dealt. Looks like he's gonna get another Stalker. Something. A Cyclone wanders into the natural. And... well... Okay, so, and GuMiho is a third base. Oh, wow. Oh. Gumi, bro. Look at him, Gumi go. Astrea now in such an awkward spot. He knows about the third, but the command center's already done. He has a Twilight, but he doesn't really have any tech with it. There's still a Reaper! God, they're the worst. And now Astrea just... The Stalkers don't have Blink. The Raven, I don't know. I don't know, Kev. It seems like a lot. He got the tank, but the Marines, oh, the Reaper! Not again! And the Immortal! Oh no, the auto turret! The Death Rattle force field may actually save the Immortal. But at what cost? Well, Astrea, there are only so many creative caster ways to say this was not great. Storm is on the way. But GuMiho is up 7 workers. Charge is in production. He's got all the bio fixins coming together. Stim, combat, shield. Nope, no, not combat shield. All right. But Stim and 1-1. Triple rate. What? Okay, GuMiho. You know what? GuMiho just has a permit that says GuMiho can do what he wants. Because apparently that's the rule right now, which is GuMiho can just build whatever units he wants, and they're somehow going to work. They hit at these awkward timings. He's sending out a flock of ravens after defending his egregiously quick third, and then saying, you know what? I gotta stay hydrated. So, well, sorry, go. We'll see. I think we got the... Okay. After this short intermission. A scan. The Stalkers are warped in. No High Templar here to feedback, though. And that means the turret count is gonna be... He's trying to body block the turrets, but the turrets are chasing down the Stalkers. GuMiho has no respect for the Protoss whatsoever. They haven't earned it. A High Templar and 3 Zealots. Does he bring the Templar first? He does. They do have charge, and he warps it a huge amount. The big gamble here from Astrea. Going for the charge lot warp-in. The funnel in the alleyways here, but the charge lot's closed. The distance Stim's not even done. This is the one opportunity Astrea had to do damage. In an attack at the third, the Storm's gonna find some more. There are 2 High Templar. He has to storm the Marines. He jumps into the prism. Astrea making a mountain out of a molehill here. And the Immortals save just barely. It's so... Oh no, he targeted down the Templar. Here come the Ravens. A little late to the party. Interference Matrix. But he loses one of them, and the rest are out of energy. Astrea getting into another ridiculously scrappy game. But there's still a Zealot. 10 kills before the citizens arrest, and the SCVs will take it out. Oh my god. Well, that lack of combat shield I was mentioning does seem to have made a huge difference. Without combat shield, without Stim, the charge lot slicing and dicing the Marines in the main, and the attack at the third base surprisingly effective. GuMiho's Ravens come back, but it's far too little and it's far too late. Another prism. Well, same prism, but you got the idea. Load it up. Combat shield done now. He's loving those Templar today. Storm has made a dramatic comeback in this matchup. Archon, Templar, and Zealot walk into a main. There is no counter. The Medevac's trying to unload, but there is a Templar. It has enough energy now. He can storm! He does! The Archon doing terrible, terrible damage. Astrea kills 12 SCVs. More Zealots into the natural. The Archon is obliterating the SCVs in the main. And doesn't quite save it. Meanwhile, a drop on the other side. Taking out some of the probes. 20 SCVs down. The Warp Prism will survive. This tiny drop actually finding some success. But GuMiho... well, how does Astrea... Astrea is the common denominator here. Astrea finds himself... It's because he's the battle mage. He plays these immensely technical, ridiculously... that looked like the boys. He plays these very, very technical strategies that if everything went perfect would be amazing. But no plan survives contact with the enemy. And right now, oh my god, he Dorito dusted a High Templar. Not that they really take much in the first place. Meanwhile, charge lots on the other side. Storm's on the front line. The Ravens still intact, but eating most of that storm. More charge lots into the main. Blink. And +2 weapons about to complete. Shield battery overcharge for Astrea back at home. He's taking the supply lead. Another incredible storm. And another one drives the point home. 11 SCVs. The main base is completely undefended. The American Pro Tour is holding the line. But the battery dies. Are there more storms? There is one. But GuMiho is not he only has one base left mining. He's trying to hold on to his main. Another storm. Still driving forward. Archon goes down. It's just charge lots here. A 3 upgrade advantage for GuMiho. If there aren't storms, the Marines, they'll be tearing through everything. Oh, he blinks over the top. The charge lots trying to close the distance. Gutting down the stalkers. There are no more storms left. 20 SCVs dead. The Marines deep in the orange, but are being healed up here. Somehow that Raven has survived. Maybe he can slap down an auto turret. He's taken so much damage. Almost no energy left on the medevacs. But a Templar! A storm! And that might do it! GuMiho lost his 3rd command center. He lost his supply. He still has the upgrades. Here comes the bio-army yet again. He needs to keep the aggression on. There is no choice. The force fields! But who are they helping more here? The eternal question. As the Archon's gonna have some trouble. Medevac's out of energy. 1-1 versus 2-2. The bio-army is trying, but the 2 immortals on the back line. And Astrea holds. Oh my god. GG. What a mess. But again, Astrea drags himself out of the wreckage. And somehow is able to survive. I don't know. Astrea thrives on chaos. I don't know how every game ends up like this, but they always do. GuMiho over there doing a 3 Raven counter. Who does a 3 Raven? You can't do a 3 Raven counter attack. That's not. Okay. Well, 1-0 Astrea, but I don't think that was a decisive victory. Can't believe it's offensive to me that the Reaper, how is that allowed? The Reaper can just use the grenade thing. Like, Protoss has to go through like 14 years of Protoss college in order to figure out how to make a wall. And then the Reaper just, what is that? It ain't right. Game 2, Oceanborn. We're jumping in. Namaste. The calm before the storms. Here we go. In the bottom right, in the blue, the American Pro Tour dragging that game into chaos and beating GuMiho with immense amounts of experience. It's Astrea. And the Terran Mastermind, just barely unable to keep up. The top left in the red, we got GuMiho. GuMiho has no shame. proxy Rex underneath. Wait, he can't jump there. He's gonna make a Reaper wall, but we've seen how meaningless that is. We can play ring around the gas geyser. The probe. No. So if you hold position of the probe, because the gas geyser is technically larger than the gas, is why you can block it like that. He actually delays the gas. There's no barracks in the base. The conspicuous lack of barracks, I think, is something Astrea is certainly noting here. It's a Reaper. I think the SCV was... in case you didn't know. Yeah. Okay, let's see how offensive this Reaper is to my sensibilities. Its existence is already cause for concern. Well, what are you gonna do with it, GuMiho? There's a zealot on the way. No way. Okay, he decides to cancel it. The Reaper. Well, he could just. Yeah, I guess you could just go. There's also that option. How mundane. Well, probes strongly disagree with the Reaper's actions. That they didn't bring their guns today. Classic mistake. 1 kill and a scout. And what are you doing? What are you doing? GuMiho? Gumi, no. Oh, Gumi, bro, what the? He's just a concussive shell barrage. Why not? The barracks hasn't been scouted. Sure. He's gonna find a probe kill. This one's a captive one. Kept it at home. How did he miss? Astrea missed it. Oh my god. Concussive is not done though. A bit of a Spider-Man meme situation. Oh no, 1, 0.
Research.
He doesn't know. He didn't know yet. But wow, by half a second, he gets away. What? Everyone's here. What's going on? The stalker just dies. The probes are pulled. Here we go again. The shield battery's done. It's 1 adept versus 2 marauders, a Hellion and a Reaper. Like that, the A team over here, except they're well past middle age. None of these units can be. Well, the Reaper can heal, but a shield battery on the high ground in order to defend. I think. Yep, he anticipated it, but now there's no units. Like the marauders are gonna kill those shield batteries pretty quick, Astrea. And here come the Hellions, seeing the door is open. Come on in. Oh, the shield battery patting the other shield battery on the back. The Protoss handshake. All right, more like back massage, but not really important to get the specifics of that one. Reaper and Hellion get in. The Hellion just gives up on life. The Reaper never will. The most annoying unit in the game. There's also a barracks here, because of course there is. But it looks like Astrea will hold. No, you can't get out there. Okay, well, looks like the Reaper also going to accept it. Well. Here we are. GuMiho's expanding. The worker count's even. Double Cyclone, of course. A starport. Why is the starport there? Wait, was the starport on the map, or did they just build it there? It's like, no, 4 seconds quicker. The Liberator will make the difference. Ah, the Cyclone meets the Adept. The Adept meets the Cyclone. Cyclone kills the Adept. I didn't have anything clever for that one. Meanwhile, the Marauder drop. What? He's targeting, but the Marauders, shield battery overcharge. The Marauders will be cleaned up. He gets the medevac out. Now the revolving airspace here. A Liberator coming in now. The beauty of this is Astrea never figured out where the barracks was the whole time, but he knew well enough. And now we're going Mass Cyclone into Bio. Bit of a Bio-curious build here. As, he builds everything but well, actually, no. We started with Marauders, and then we went into Cyclones, and Hellions, and Liberators, and now we're going back into Bio. The fish will never see it coming. That's so he doesn't mess it up with Selectal Army Hockey. Though no pro will tell you that. They're just making sure it's ready for bear. The Cyclone drop. On the way. Still a very dangerous Astrea, far down in supply. But I don't think that really reflects... Another shield battery overcharge. The real MVP of this game so far. No blink. Yeah, that hurts. What? Re-sieges. I don't know if he... Yeah, it looks like he tried to come in and then decided, you know what? The fish had it coming. Another... There's still 3 cyclones. He still has so many cyclones. Just throwing it in there. Storm on the way for Astrea. 95 to 70 supply. Wow. What? Why the rocks? Sorry. He asked himself the same question. Storm is not even close to done. Astrea has 7 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, and 2 Templar. In other words, if you need it translated, that's not very much. Storm 2/3 of the way there. Charge a little bit closer. That siege tank is very important. Astrea may very well be giving up his 4th. The Liberator! Wow, that was a bit optimistic. But down goes the Nexus. The Reaper Wall, a liability yet again. The Cyclone drop, still there. Charge and Storm are complete, but the Cyber Core itself is vulnerable. That shield battery, where's the overcharge? He doesn't have energy for overcharge! How does that even happen? He does now. And with it, it might be time to go. Warps in a couple more Stalkers. The Cyber Core, yeah, there's the overcharge. Charge lots. Well, Medevac goes down. Cyber Core's dead. Production tab is empty for Astrea, but it feels like GuMiho is closing it. Oh, the most beautiful storm he could hope for. But overcharge did run out. He gets a merge off, but it's pushed into the fray, into the siege tanks. There is no blink. He can't maneuver these Stalkers. The charge is on the way, but GuMiho has a 3rd base behind this. Even if all these units spontaneously imploded, which, you know, is possible this far under the sea. It's unlikely that that would be a major momentum shift. Immortals. Oh, there goes a probe. A pylon out there. We don't mind. GuMiho's locking it down. Here we go. Blank is only halfway done. He's got a War Prism on the way. Shield battery. No other shield battery to pat it on the back this time. War Prism. Does Astrea know about the 3rd? He does. He knows how bad it is. A huge, massive storm. But the siege tanks are closing in. He's running out of real estate. +1 to +none. Robo's depowered. GG, GuMiho ties it up. We got a series. GuMiho with the casual proxy Reaper into Marauder timing. GuMiho can dish it out. This time, Astrea just didn't have anything. He just had nothing behind it. No blink. Charge way too late. He was so busy dealing with what was right in front of him. He never had a follow-up behind it. And, of course, as is customary, the Reaper Wall was a liability. Just pointing that one out. But GuMiho just freestyling his way into a tied series here. I don't, like, if you ask GuMiho before the game, you say his plan is, I'm going to do Proxy Reaper into Marauder with 6 Cyclones. You know what, maybe. That's definitely one of the branches of that convoluted tree that is GuMiho's brain, but... Game 3 will be on Site Delta. Insert profound commentary on Site Delta here. We're ready to go. Countdown has begun. It's 1-1. This will determine who has the best seed going into tomorrow. Makes it that much easier to get deeper in the tournament. And also, of course, pride. In the bottom right, the best player from the United States of America, the hometown hero, the battle mage. It's Astrea. But the most creative freestyle Terran from Korea, it is the Admiral, GuMiho. Charting a course where no Terran has gone before, and usually for good reason, but still. Now what? After those 2 games, I didn't have any expectations, but somehow I have even less going into game 3. Taking a look around with the probe. Yeah, well, that'll do it. It's double gas. We're gonna have the heavy tech options. The CV. Oh, a little bit of chest bump there. CV going out at a weird angle. Probe. Here to be very annoying. Is he gonna commit to scouting for the 2 gas? Which means, unless he's gonna get recalled out, he's locked in. Factory's on the way. SCV going to get politely yet firmly asked to leave. And there's really nothing you can do about it, so SCV very kind to oblige. The Reaper will get the obligatory probe. Always at least 1 kill here. Astrea does choose to wall off the front this time around, giving him options against Hellion run-bys and all sorts of shenanigans. Side Delta, you also got a ramp to work with, which is certainly helpful against things like Hellions and Cyclones. Doesn't bother with the Reaper wall this time, I might point out. You can't see it, but I'm raising an eyebrow with that one. As well, it should be. No Reaper wall this time, eh? Wasn't worth it. No, I think he just wanted to wall the natural, but still, I'll take it. Delays the command center. Oh, SCV. Not the time. Wait, everyone's here now. Doesn't quite land the hit on the SCV. Blink. Siege tanks. Starport. Something resembling sanity. For once this series. I'm sure it'll devolve. But we're holding on to the textbook for now. Robo and gate number 3. Will he go to 4? That usually oh wait, no, that's 2. I meant 3, totally. I'm very good at counting. I can count very high. It does help that they have a counter in the game, though. That I'm not complaining. Is this just a straight-up siege tank push out of GuMiho? He's going to have 3 tanks, which is clearly enough to deal with Blink Stalkers, but does he try to attack beforehand? You don't usually build a medevac off of a naked starport like that unless you're going to attack. As pretty much everything else is a better option on defense, is one medevac not that important when you're holding the line. But it's going to be aggression versus aggression. 3-gate blink, no third base. up against... Okay. The siege tanks are already headed out. It's just gonna... The observer is so important. I'm pretty sure GuMiho saw the observer. There aren't enough stalkers. Well, there are if he doesn't siege up. Blink is done, but he can blink with the tanks somewhat awkwardly here. He's gonna target one. Big hit. Shield battery overcharge. Blinking back into it. Here's some of the boys. Blinks into the medevac. Well, that didn't take long. Okay. Another tank. SCVs. It seems a bit committed from GuMiho. Viking on deck. Shield battery overcharge is done. A lot of the stalkers taking big hits. Doesn't get a second tank shot. The SCV's just kind of hanging out, realizing, oh, that's it. It's over. He just... Astrea wins.